It's all good, it's all fine. No, I don't have a care that I care to share. It's all good.
Hello and welcome. Thank you for tuning in to Jamie TV. Today I want to bring you a demo that I've been meaning to do for ages. I'm going to show you the Kinsman KAA70 acoustic amp. Now I've been meaning to do this video for ages because it's a great bit of kit that I want to share with you, but I kind of didn't get on with it, and then I made up my mind to do it. And so I was looking for an appropriate solo gig that I would be doing where I could kind of have the amp set up, you know, in a cool setting where I could make a video that looked awesome. And then this whole virus lockdown thing happened, so I'm not playing anywhere, not going anywhere. So that kind of killed it off. But then I got asked the other day to play this this lockdown online festival thing. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to use the acoustic amp while I'm playing that, because I've done like radio airplay stuff where I've done an interview and I've played a few songs, and sometimes when I've done that, just voice and acoustic guitar, they've not had me in headphones, or they've not had me plugged in. And so I'm just sat there playing, you know, with no reverb and no real volume, and I felt a little uncomfortable because I'm used to live with, you know, lots of volume, and it's a bit disconcerting. So I'm going to use this for the streaming gig. So I'm going like this because it's on my back, because it comes in this really cool backpack. Because really this amp is probably best suited. It's best. I mean, it's good for various things, but one thing that occurs to me that's wonderful for would be for a busker, because it's really light. And it comes in this great padded bag with cool pockets and everything, and it's as light as oat to wear on your back. So if you were busking, you could stick this on your back, guitar in hand, and off you go. So if I can just set this down at my studio where I'm going to be doing this streaming gig from, and I'm just kind of part set up for it, is real small. So if I can just angle the cat, there we go. Right, so we have side pockets. In here I have the mains power thing, which I hardly ever need because it's battery powered and it's a rechargeable battery. So I charge it up in here, which takes virtually no time at all, and the battery lasts hours and hours. And here in this pocket I just have the mains bit that goes into the power supply, and then if I unzip the top, and it zips down the sides as well, like this. And there we have the amp. Lift that out, do away with the bag. As you can see, it's real padded, and I've got the instructions in the bottom there, which I've never looked at because I really don't need them. It's very simple and straightforward. Right, let's just shove this over here. Apologies for the rubbish camera angle, it's just a real small space, my studio, so here we go. So I'm struggling with camera angle. Anyway, in fact, it's very light, I'll hold it up. Let's just adjust this. Right, okay, so first thing I'm going to show you, it's really pretty versatile and adaptable, this. I know it looks like an air conditioning unit, but it is in fact an awesomely cool acoustic amp. And it has feet on what I consider the bottom, really, but it also has feet here on the side. So, you know, it's adaptable to what situation you're playing in. If you were sat playing next to a table, you could just have it sat on the table next to you, this way up, or the way I use it on my gigs is it has a hole for a pole. So I'm going to stick this over here where I'm going to be using it for my gig. Let's have a look at the side panel on this amp so I can show you what the actual features are. If this is coming out alright on my iPhone camera, in this little window here you should be able to see a little picture of a battery, and it currently says 98% charge, and I'm finding that if I just leave the amp on from a full charge and I use it, it's lasting for something like, it's somewhere between 4 and 5 hours, and it doesn't take very long to charge it back up either. It's a two-sided amp, instrument this side, microphone this side. Here's where you put your XLR in for your microphone, but if you do prefer to use a jack input for a mic, it has one of those little adapters in it, so you can use that too. Pretty self-explanatory. Volume, bass and treble for your voice. It has its own really sweet reverb on board, and you just dial in as much as you want of that here. This volume here is for an auxiliary input. We'll talk about that later. So your instrument input is here, and again, pretty self-explanatory. You've got volume, bass, middle and treble for your instrument. It's got a chorus sound on board, which is really, really nice on acoustic guitar, and you just dial in as much of that as you want here. Now the reverb for the instrument is a little different from the vocal side. The volume for it is here, but you can use this switch to change between a long reverb, a middle reverb, a middle length reverb and a short reverb. I'm kind of like in the middle setting at the moment. If you need to flip the phase of your instrument, as is quite common on acoustic guitars, the switch for that is here. And this switch here will give you like a preset EQ. It's called V-shape, and what it does is it gives you that very commonly sought after acoustic guitar kind of a setting, you know, a little boost to your bass and treble and a bit of a scoop out in the middle section, and actually works really quite nice if you leave that switched in and then adjust your EQ a little bit from there. What else do we have? Oh yeah, right, I ought to mention the master volume. So of course it might be a little bit of a noob explanation, but for anyone who's new to this kind of amplifier, if you have your microphone and guitar volumes set as you like them with a nice balance, and you know the venue owner comes over and complains that you're too loud, and you turn it down, they'll turn down in proportion to each other, so your mix is still going to be right. And of course, if he comes over and complains that, you know, you need to be a bit louder, well, there you go. Never happens, of course. Also, it's very easy to couple your phone up with the KAA70 via Bluetooth, and it will remember you, so you don't have to do it every time. Once it's set, it's set. So if you need to play an introduction before you go on, or if you need to play some music in between sets, something like that, then all you do is when you're ready to play some music, make sure your Bluetooth is switched on, play some music from your phone and adjust the volume of it from your phone.
But he's never really been anywhere. He's never really done anything, but he's a man of opinion. Man of opinion.
I imagine that what a lot of people are wondering is how much volume can a very small and very light amplifier like this actually put out. So I'm going to be completely honest with you. As a solo acoustic artist, I play in a number of different situations. I do quite a lot of gigs sat in the corner of a restaurant where I'm just, I'm just background noise. And for that application, obviously, this is absolutely perfect. But I do also play some pretty rowdy small pubs, and I've found this to be absolutely fine for that too. I mean, I've actually taken extra speakers to gigs, and not needed to get them out of the car. But sometimes I do play some larger stages acoustically where I do know that this is not going to be quite enough on its own, but I've got so used to the sound of it being behind me, and I like this. I enjoy the sound of this little amp, and it means using this amp means for me that I don't need to take a little mixing desk either, because I'm just using acoustic guitar and voice. So, you know, it saves on gear too. So I keep this behind me, and I always have it in the same position just over my shoulder. And so it's kind of comforting in a way. I've always got the same sound right behind me. So what I do is, if I'm playing a stage that's that bit bigger and I need a bit more spread of sound, I take a little powered monitor with me, or sometimes two, and I use the unbalanced out socket here to take a feed out to my powered monitor. And if I'm going to use two power monitors, I just connect that one into the next one. Here we've got the XLR balanced out for if you're going out to a desk or something. And we've got a stereo mini jack input here for if you're wanting, typically, if you're wanting to play some music through the KAA70 that you can't connect with Bluetooth. And of course the volume for that is here, the auxiliary volume. There is of course potential to get another instrument into the KAA70 using that input. Like for instance, let's say if you were using like one possibility I've considered is maybe introducing a keyboard into my setup, which would actually just be a controller keyboard plugged into my iPad, and I'd be using sounds from my iPad. It would be very easy to come out of the iPad with this stereo mini jack into this auxiliary in here and have that play through the amplifier. And here we've got a headphone connection. If you use the headphone connection for practice or something like that, then that does actually disable the front speakers of the amp.
And the truth will burn you all in good time. The center of the universe will sing the loneliest rhyme.
When people demonstrate amplifiers on YouTube, I'm always a little bit dubious that you can get any real idea about the quality or the sound of an amplifier from a video. I figured that the most useful thing I could do would be to tell you about the features of the amp and about my experience of actually using this thing in a live situation. And I've been using this amp now for a good few months, and I can tell you that if you're busking, if you're playing a restaurant, a cafe, a microbar, a small pub, you're not going to need anything else. This is going to be plenty for you. And it sounds lovely. It's got a great sound quality, and it's as light as out, and the bag it comes in is awesome. So I can recommend this as a fabulous bit of kit. But it's about time now that I went and got changed, because I've got my live stream to do shortly. So if you have any questions about this product, then please do message me. Feel free to contact me. All my social media and email address, my website and everything will be under the video. Feel free to contact me and I'll answer any questions to the best of my ability. If this video was useful to you, please give me a thumb up. Maybe consider subscribing. Sorry, I forgot how to talk. I have a Patreon account if you're interested in that. And you know, if you didn't like it, then please do take the time to put me a nasty comment in the comment section below and diss me and give me a thumbs down if that makes you feel good. See you later.
All right, it's 3 o'clock. Time for me to start making a noise.